Hello and welcome to the Redmen TV. It's daily news time once again, and we are back with a whole host of transfer rumours for your eyes and your ears. I'm not going to lie to you, these are all rumours once again, even so much so that we've put it in the title for once. We're going to start off with Alisson Becker, the goalkeeper from Roma, the one that we've been talking about for what seems like forever now. We have reportedly upped our bid for Alisson to 61.9 million quid, and the Italian newspaper La Repubblica are the ones that are saying that. We've been back in touch with Roma over a deal and have made a £61.9 million bid. I have not been able to corroborate this anywhere else other than Italian websites and stuff. So this is what Monchi said. The will to sell Alisson depends on Roma. We always evaluate what comes in and decide for the good of Roma above all. I don't want to talk about replacements because Alisson hasn't left. If that moment comes, we'll think about it. Is there a deadline? Everything has its time. If it's August the 5th at 3 a.m, everything has its time. Again, I've not been able to corroborate this anywhere other than people picking up on this article and then getting like 3 removed from it and stuff. So I'm reading this on the Express. This came out yesterday. So you'd imagine in 24 hours, if there was some truth to it, you would be able to find that and other journalists would pick up on that. Nobody's coming out and talking about Alisson at the moment. So it says to me that this hasn't happened. We haven't probably bid £61.9 million for Alisson, which, you know, most Liverpool fans will be a little bit disappointed. Chelsea is supposed to have bid as well. We're now supposed to be the high bidder. Alisson's kind of said all along that he wants to go to Real Madrid. It feels like we're going to do a goalkeeper merry-go-round at some point. Someone needs to move. Someone's probably going to get left without a goalkeeper. That's the way that this is going to turn out. I mean, Courtois on this list. Sillinson's on the list of goalkeepers that could be moving. It's just been a little bit mad at the moment, and I don't think anybody really knows what's going on with Alisson other than he wants to go to Real Madrid and that Roma haven't had an acceptable offer yet. Otherwise, they'd have accepted an offer. One from the World Cup final yesterday. Martin Tyler on Australian TV has got everybody losing their marbles over Nabil Fekir, basically hinting that the deal was done. I'll read the article. This is on the Echo first and foremost. So what Tyler has said is, the reason Fekir hasn't moved already from Lyon to Liverpool is the structuring of the deal. Liverpool are a bit suspicious about a problem that surfaced in a medical prior to the World Cup. They'll take him, but payments will have to be in stages. He has proved his availability of a regular basis. So, I mean, listen, anybody who's been on social media over the last 24 hours or so will have seen this. It looks like the Fekir deal is back on, if you believe Martin Tyler, but equally these rumours of a bid that's sort of going to happen over the course of his potential contract with Liverpool have been going on for a few days now. They've just been kind of on forums and under the radar and stuff like that, and Tyler's probably been reading that. It doesn't feel to me like Tyler would know if Liverpool have agreed a deal with Fekir because nobody else seems to know. So why would a football commentator know, especially one who's working on Australian television? It just doesn't seem to make sense to me. Then you couple that with the fact that he was walking through the airport in, I think it was Moscow yesterday, and Liverpool fans are shouting, Liverpool, Liverpool, Liverpool. And there's a video you can go and search it out after this, and he like nods and smiles. Well, basically it's deal done, isn't it? Because, you know, he smiled and nodded at someone shouting Liverpool to him, which you would have to do, wouldn't you? So yeah, I mean, there's a couple more on here. So read Liverpool FC, friends of ours, doors open for Liverpool as Nabil Fekir transfer saga is revived. Lyon chairman Jean-Michel Aulas has opened the door once again on a potential deal after Liverpool pulled out of negotiations last month over the medical. And here's the quote, and this is to Le 10 Sport. It seems to me that Liverpool could come back in. That's what I've read in the press, but I've not been told anything. So that's what Aulas has said. Whether that was to Leo 10 Sport or not, I found, oh yeah, here you go, I found it on le10sport.com's website, and I'll highlight it here so you can see where I'm reading from. It seems to me that Liverpool could come back to the charge. That's what I saw in the press, but I'm not informed. His transfer failed in June, but he is not affected. He is quite fatalistic, focused on his World Cup, and still has the heart in Lyon. We discussed his brother Yassin, who signed pro. Nabil is much closer to Lyon today than it was when we talked to Liverpool. Maybe he will go to Liverpool or to another club. But if he stays at Olympique Lyon, it will be a great year for him and for us, said Jean-Michel Aulas. So again, read into that what you will. It doesn't sound to me like a bid's been made. It doesn't sound to me like there's any truth in this restructuring of the deal, because he's saying we've not talked to them. We've not talked to them at the moment. So I'm on the fence on this one of whether I think Liverpool are going to sign Fekir or whether we're not going to sign Fekir. My head says that why would Liverpool go back in for somebody who failed a medical, even if it's something that down the line, it could cause a problem. But my heart says go and get him. Just go and get him, please. Go and get him. And if you need to restructure the deal for better terms that suit Liverpool, then kind of do that. It does feel like a kind of FSG move, doesn't it? Like, we'll just cheapen the deal a little bit. We'll spread the payments out. I don't know, man. It's just, I have got no idea whether Liverpool are going to sign Fekir or not at the moment. Sometimes you get like a sense around the transfer, and listen, there's so many rumours that it's hard to ignore at times. Do I want Fekir at Liverpool in a Liverpool shirt? Absolutely. Absolutely do. So we'll move on to the next one. This one's from Team Talk. Liverpool and Chelsea boosted his keeper with £60 million release clause, considers his future. And this is Barcelona keeper Jasper Cillessen. Mundo Deportivo were reporting it. And he's waiting to see what happens in the next few weeks regards to a summer move. Obviously, we were linked with the former Ajax man, claiming previously that Liverpool have approached the La Liga giants over the possibility of gaining his service. And Cillessen's also been linked with Chelsea, reported £60 million release clause, but where it was claimed last week Cillessen has received offers from two great European clubs. One of them could be Liverpool. Are Chelsea a great European club? Maybe not. And they reckon that we could have him for 30 million quid. That's what Barcelona might be willing to accept for Cillessen. I don't like the sounds of this one, to be honest with you. And it's not because he's a bad goalkeeper or anything like that. It's just that he hasn't played enough football for me. I think, he's been sat on the bench at Barcelona for a while now, and he's 29 years old, which is good age for a goalkeeper, but you need to be playing football. And how can you really and truly evaluate Cillessen over the last year or so if he's not been playing enough football to warrant being scouted and stuff? It feels like a really difficult one, especially when you're talking about 30 million quid for a goalkeeper. But I think the other thing is, it's clear that Liverpool do need a goalkeeper, although if you believe the UK journalists and the Northwest journalists, that it looks like Danny Ward's going to be given the opportunity to be Liverpool's number one. And I just wonder whether that could be a good move for Liverpool Football Club, because you never know what's the straw that breaks the camel back. You never know how a player's going to come out and prove his worth. We know that when Danny Ward went to Aberdeen, he played very well. We saw him play for Huddersfield and get them into the Premier League. So we know that this lad can do it. We just don't know whether he can do it in a Liverpool shirt. And it would be very Klopp to give him an opportunity. But equally, as a Liverpool fan, it's not a good situation to be in, is it? With question marks hanging over your goalkeeper. I think everybody would prefer a big name between the sticks at Liverpool, but it's not always to say that the big name will be the guy that is that safe pair of hands, I suppose, between the sticks. So there we go on that one. And I rumoured out Southampton are targeting Danny Ings, and Liverpool apparently, according to the Daily Mail, would like 20 million quid for Danny Ings, which is mad, isn't it? So, 20 million quid for Danny Ings. Obviously, we know that he wants to move. Southampton just about scraped into the Premier League still last season. Do you think he'd go there? Let me know your thoughts, all of those transfer rumours in the comment section below. We'll get into the comments very, very shortly. In fact, we'll do it now because I've run out of news stories. So, Tom, have you got anything for me on the first topic, please, mate?
I do. Niall O'Reilly says we need to buy Alisson. Bob Paisley once said that one of Shankly's biggest mistakes was being too loyal to players. Klopp needs to realise this himself.
Wow, Niall. Fundamentally, I think you're ultimately right. I think sometimes managers can be too loyal to players, but equally, you've got to be, I would guess, having never done this job, I've never managed a football club. I think what makes you a good manager is staying true to who you are. And I think Jurgen Klopp has had success in football and is the manager that he is today because of that loyalty to players, because, we've seen lads like Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain who want to come and play for Liverpool Football Club. not just because of the club, but because of the manager that we've got, because of Jurgen Klopp, because he shows that loyalty to his players and he creates an atmosphere around the first team and the squads up and down the club that they want to be a part of, and they want to work and train hard and be a part of something that's bigger than the sum of their parts, and that's what this Liverpool side is with Klopp. So for me, it's very easy for us to sit here and say you can't be too loyal, but that's what's made him so successful in the past, and I feel like if you take that away from him, he's not Jurgen Klopp anymore, and he might not be the manager that we have and that we want him to be. So it's, again, just to sort of wrap up on that point, and it's a good comment, and you know, you've got to take the rough with the smooth with these blokes, ultimately. And will we have signed players like Mo Salah, like Sadio Mane, if we didn't have Jurgen Klopp in charge? And that's the one thing that you can't sort of unpick for me anyway. So we've got another one for me, mate?
Yeah, so GVSW, I guess, Gaming, he says, the reason why the Fekir deal will happen is because the rumour hasn't gone away and no alternatives have emerged.
Yeah. I think that's the one thing that everyone's kind of clinging on for, isn't it? Is that, you know, by now you would have expected that if that is a position that Liverpool want to fill with a top draw player like a Nabil Fekir, then alternatives would be out there, and there doesn't seem to be any for it. So I completely agree with that comment, and maybe that is one of the reasons that Liverpool are backing for Nabil Fekir, whether you believe the rumours or not. That does sound to me quite truthful. Go on.
Ronok Nearbo makes an interesting comment. He said, would Fekir have another medical and would they make another video with him with the Liverpool channel? So I wonder if he would.
I don't know, man. I'll be honest with you, we've done videos in case he signs, because you have to. Obviously for the website and stuff, we're very into the stats and tactics side of things, and so we analysed his game. There's not enough minutes in the World Cup where you could have extra footage into that, and have a look at that. So we'd probably release that one, I think. I would hazard a guess that Liverpool have more resources than us and would probably do it again just because, well, the leaked images and stuff, and, you know, ours haven't been leaked because, you know, we haven't uploaded them to the internet. And the lads who work here are boss and wouldn't do that to us.
But they are ready to go.
But they are ready to go.
I see them every day. It's so frustrating.
It's annoying, it's frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like if Fekir signs, we'd have to do the Fekir signs video again, but the stats and tactics would be absolutely sound. I do think he'll do another medical. I think you'd have to, because you could not trust the medical that happened before the World Cup, because he's been training for a month and a half or 2 months, and, you know, he's obviously had game time for France, and you would want to see if there was any deterioration in that knee. So you would absolutely have to do a medical. The videos, I'd guess they'd have to do as well. But nice question. We've not had anything like that on the show before. Nice one, mate. They're leaked now, says Slim Moran. They're not leaked now.
Dave says, I'd take Alisson over Pickford or Butland all day long.
Alisson over Pickford or Butland.
Again, the problem is Pickford and Butland have played.
Yeah.
A lot.
I know, and Pickford's clearly a good goalkeeper. We saw that last season for Everton. We saw that during the World Cup as well. Sorry, I'm just looking at this about the Aldi and Gattaca that I go to, and there's now comments about me there. Yeah, I think Pickford's a really good goalkeeper, and I wouldn't know where to start with Alisson. Is he the same goalkeeper that played for Ajax, or has he got worse? I mean, it's just so difficult to know. Butland, I've never...
Jason Lamb says Ings for 20 million is a no-brainer. And then Miles, he says, who could you get for 20 mil? So he's trying to flip that and go, well, we're selling Ings. Maybe we could use that money for another player for ourselves.
Or something like that. Yeah, good one, Marzi. 20 million quid. I mean, you're not far off what a Vardy would be worth. And I keep talking about Vardy because I still think he'd be a cracking little signing for Liverpool Football Club. So there you go. All right, we've done some comments. Thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the Redmen TV on YouTube, and we will be back tomorrow with another daily news show and the podcast, of course. Cheers for watching. Ta-ra.